Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum dear students and viewers. अब दोबारा से हम वापस अपने उस मेथड पे आगे बोर्ड वाले पे, क्योंकि बेसिकली ये वीडियोस स्टूडेंट्स के लिए हैं जो कि ओ लेवल्स में IGCSE या फिर CIE का एग्जाम देने वाले हों. लेकिन ऑफ कोर्स इफ जनरल पब्लिक इज आल्सो वाचिंग दिस, तो उनको भी थोड़ा बहुत नो हाउ हो जाता है, बिकॉज इस्लाम इज नॉट ओनली अ सब्जेक्ट, इट इज बेसिकली अ कोड ऑफ लाइफ, इट इज बेसिकली अ रिलीजन. तो व्हेन आई टीच इस्लाम आई ऑलवेज टीच इट एज ए रिलीजन, because it should be like in the heart of the students also. So let's continue with the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We had done that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam until the first revelation, like we have covered the 40 years life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then we have covered the difficulties faced by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like secret preach, then open preach. But now inshallah ta'ala today I am going to cover on the topic migration to Abyssinia, because migration to Abyssinia is like a topic which comes as per the CIE. It comes for 14 marks question under the category of question number 3, 4 or 5, right? So this is based on the Makki life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We will start this answer from the persecution and opposition. However, the students usually think that we have to write a long description of the persecution and opposition, and usually they take they give half of their page to only the persecution and opposition. However, we are only supposed to write 1 to 2 lines for the persecution and opposition as per the background. Like when persecution and opposition of Quraysh increased and it got intensified, then Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was of course very much upset. So Allah revealed some verses from Surah Al-Zumar. In Surah Al-Zumar, Allah revealed some verses in which Allah gave the permission to the Muslims to migrate and to find out some peaceful place for them. And the verses were, if you want them, you can see in the description also. And Allah was basically saying that in Surah Al-Zumar that Allah's earth is spacious, and of course reward is for them who keep patience. So basically Allah is giving one option to the Muslims that they can migrate, and other way Allah is like telling them that if they are keeping patience and if they are going through with all these difficulties, of course they are going to get rewards for this. So finally Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave the permission to the Muslims, and one place which came into the mind of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that was Abyssinia. The reason of this place is King Negus. His real name was Ashama, but Negus was the title of all the kings of Abyssinia. So his real name was Ashama, right? If you will not be writing it, that's okay, but I am just telling it. His real name was Ashama and he was called King Negus. He was famous because of his justice and kind-heartedness. Because of these two things, he was famous amongst the people. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave the Muslims, gave permission to the Muslims to migrate from Makkah to Abyssinia. The first batch was prepared. In the first batch, Hazrat Usman and Hazrat Ruqayya, they both were leading. And Hazrat Ruqayya, she was the daughter of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she was also the wife of Hazrat Usman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. They both were leading the batch, and in this batch there were 12 people who were migrated from Makkah to Abyssinia. So finally, when Quraysh realized it, that Muslims are running away from Makkah and they are going to get rid of the persecution and opposition, they were somehow insecure also, because if Islam would be coming out of Makkah, of course it is going to be spread in all over the Arabia. So they were somehow insecure also. They started chasing the Muslims, but Muslims changed the route and they took the route from sea, and from Andalus they took a boat and they traveled through a boat in the sea and they reached to Abyssinia. Somehow Quraysh could not know that where they had gone, and they did not realize it. Finally, Muslims started living there peacefully. King Negus was actually like according to the perception, and he allowed Muslims to do anything where in Abyssinia they were free to do their trade also, and they were free to follow their religion also. Every sort of freedom was given to them. Finally, shift your paradigm, that in Makkah something happened. What happened? That verses from Surah Al-Najm revealed, and that time Prophet ﷺ was in front of Kaaba. So as soon as the verses revealed, it was of course the habit of the Prophet ﷺ that whenever verses used to come, Prophet ﷺ was reciting them. So as soon as the verses of Surah Najm came, Prophet ﷺ was reciting those verses in front of Kaaba. And other hand, what happened? That Quraysh, the big leaders of Quraysh like Banu Umayyah, Umayyah bin Khalf, and Abu Sufyan, and Abu Jahal, Abu Lahab, and all big names of the big leaders, Utbah, Sheba, and all of them. Some of them were standing over there, and when the verses came and Prophet ﷺ prostrated to the God, when he got into the sujood, the Quraysh were like under the sort of spell of magic. Like when our words, like of course when our words are impactable on others, so Allah's words are very like impactable words. They put a positive effect on their hearts, and they went into the prostration. When other people saw them, some of them just spread the rumor, and some of them actually thought that Quraysh accepted Islam. And this news reached to Abyssinia. When Muslims listened to this, who were there, they came back, and they thought that Quraysh accepted Islam. And now when they came back, Quraysh got an opportunity. Actually, they were just spellbound with the words of Allah, and they did not accept Islam. So their persecution and opposition got intensified. Now another badge was prepared. So both of the badges are very important to write. That is the first badge, and this is the second badge after the migration, after the Surah Najm. So in this batch there were 83 men and 19 women. But I am telling you according to the marking scheme. However, words are different in some of the books, numbers are different in some of the books, but I am telling you as per the marking scheme. Marking scheme is saying that 83 men and 19 women, so we are writing this. So they prepared, and who was leading them? Hazrat Jafar radiallahu ta'ala anhu was leading them. Jafar radiallahu ta'ala anhu was Hazrat Ali's brother. He was the son of Abu Talib, and he was cousin of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was very good in his interpretation skills were very good, and his communication was very good. He was expert in that. So he was leading them, and with the same route they reached Abyssinia. When they reached Abyssinia, Quraysh, before reaching them, Quraysh were chasing them, and Quraysh this time came to know that where they went. So Quraysh prepared 2 envoys against them, and those 2 envoys were Abdullah bin Rabi'a and Amr bin al-As. You will listen a lot about Amr bin al-As in our syllabus, because later on he accepted Islam after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. So, and his services are very prominent for Islam, and in the time of Khilafat, his role is very prominent. Inshallah, we will discuss it later on. So Abdullah bin Rabi'a and Amr bin al-As, they both went, and they went with good gifts, valuable gifts, and because they wanted to convince King Negus, and they wanted Muslims to bring back. But what happened that when they reached there, and Amr bin al-As had a very good relationship with King Negus as per the economical terms, or you can say like trade terms. They had a very good. They like Quraysh and Amr bin al-As especially was having a very good terms with King Negus. So Quraysh were thinking that he would of course listen to Amr bin al-As. So they both went, and they did not say the truth. They presented the gifts, and they just narrated to the King Negus another story. They said that some of our young people, they just had left their religion, and they left the religion of their ancestors, and their fathers and their forefathers are very much like their fathers and their uncles, and their whole tribe is very upset because of these young people. So we came here to bring them back because we want them on our own religion. So he presented Muslims as a sort of rebels. But King Negus, as he was a just and very kind-hearted ruler, he said that he will listen the story of Muslims also, other group also. So he called Muslims in the court. So when Muslims came in the court, Hazrat Jafar represented the Muslims, and he said that I can just tell you the summary. He just said, and you are supposed to write summary. I will write this summary in the description. You can read it from the description, and you can write that summary. That would be very helpful as per the marking scheme for your answer. And inshallah, you will be able to get level 4 answer, means 8 or 9 out of 10. So according to that summary, he said that we were just lost, and we were involved in every sort of sin. We were involved in every sort of bad deed and evil deeds. But a man amongst us, whom we knew already before that he is Sadiq and Ameen, even before prophethood he was Sadiq and Ameen, he brought us back on a good way. He asked us to be monotheist and to worship only one Allah. And also he guided us not to bury our daughters alive. And he said that gambling is haram. We should not do this. He said interest is haram. He brought us, he took us out from all sort of evil things. And some people amongst us, they had risen against us, and they started persecuting us. They started torturing us only because of this reasons, that why we are accepting the faith of that man Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we are here that we want protection from you, and we want to get rid of their persecution. When King Negus heard this, he said that, can you tell something what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had brought, the message of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Can you narrate something from that? So Hazrat Jafar was very wise man. He picked up the verses from Surah Al-Maryam because they were relating to King Negus. King Negus was Christian, so he of course knew the story of Hazrat Maryam and Hazrat Isa al-Islam. When Hazrat Jafar read the verses, recited the verses, the tears started rolling out of the eyes of King Negus, and he said to Amr bin al-As that if you will hand over the mountain of gold to me, if you will give the mountain of gold as a gift to me, still I am not going to give these people back to you. They can live here peacefully and until they want. So they both went back to Makkah disappointed, and this thing actually gave a big, that was a big achievement of Muslims, and that was a sort of big defeat for the Quraysh very first time after a long time of persecution and opposition. This incident happened on 6th of prophethood. 5th or 6th, some people say 5th or 6th of prophethood. I hope you understood the detailed account of the migration to Abyssinia. Jazakumullahu khair.